Hey everybody, we are out here on Prettyboy Reservoir once again, and once again I did not even bother to bring my fishing rods. We're just out here to have a nice paddle. When I came out the other day, I got a lot of really pretty scenery, but I got discombobulated with my camera between turning it on and turning it off, and a whole scenic stretch that I actually spent quite a while paddling along and videoing was actually when the camera was off, and when I was just paddling along, humming to myself or whatever, not paying any attention to anything, is when I actually had the camera rolling. So we got sort of a anti-video, and I think today what I want to do is go down to that spot again. It's a really pretty evening. It's already, I don't know, maybe 5:30, 5:45. So I'm basically just going to paddle down there. We're going to have a little paddle around that island. If you remember my video from the other day, we went out around that island. I'm going to try to get some of the footage we missed. So sit back and relax. It's going to be another just sort of lazy paddle around the reservoir. Alright, now eventually we need to go all the way across the channel and get out to that opposite shore out in front of us. Looks a lot further away on this GoPro video than it actually is, but if you can see this shoreline out here in front of us, we got to go all the way down to the end of that and around that point and into that cove down there. So it's about, I don't know, maybe half a mile from here, something like that. Won't take us too long to get there, but I think for now I'm going to stay on this shoreline, at least till we get around this tree right here. Feels like we're going to have some wind in our face, so I think I'm going to stay tight on the shoreline until we cross the channel. I don't know, we'll see. That one's a bit low to go under. I'd like to have some of this grass growing up out of my native tank. That would look awesome. Oh, I thought this rock was a piece of wood. Oh, it is a piece of wood. I thought it was just black from the way it looks, but it's actually black because it's all burned up and charred up. Boy, that would have been a good piece of wood. It's heavy too, so it would have sank immediately. Oh well. There's all kind of good wood out here. We'll find something. Maybe not today, but there's always something to find out here. Alright, let's just do this. in here under this tree because I want to check out this piece of wood right here. It's another one that looks really good. It's really frail though. Where we are going to, the spot that I didn't get on video the other day, one of the things I found was a really good looking piece of wood like that, and unfortunately I didn't get that part on video, so we're going to go see if we can find that again. And it too is too frail for me to put in the tank. In fact, in that video I wound up breaking a chunk of it off when I tried to pick it up, so definitely not going to go home and go into my tank, but it was a good looking piece of wood. So we're going to go have a look at it if I can get off the ground here. I think I hoisted myself up onto a rock. Or it's rolling. There it goes. It was a rock. Every time I was trying to move forward, it was rolling underneath of me. And there we go. Hanging me up. So we are going to try to stay out of the wind by staying underneath these trees. So once again, it's going to be like a combination between walking in the woods and being out in the boat. Well, that's another really good piece of wood. Let's go look at that. And because it's what I do for a living, I can see deer damage on all these leaves on the tree out here. So even all the way out here in the water, the deer are walking out and getting to it. Boy, that is a good looking piece of wood there. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. Oh, look at that. Wow. Oh, that is gorgeous. Oh, it just keeps getting better. Look at that. Well, this one's definitely coming home with this one. We have a better kayak, my other kayak, where I can actually carry some stuff. That is awesome. All right, that's a little bonus. Let's make our way on out of here. And we still have to go way out and around, hugging the shoreline. Again, we got plenty of time, so unless I see something particularly exciting, which for me is just about everything I see. But anyway, unless I see something particularly exciting, I will see you down around the bend, and we'll pick up where we left off the other day. All right, everybody, we are actually taking a little bit of a break. I got out to walk around and stretch my legs. And I always like stopping back here and taking a little walk around. It's really different than the surrounding area. I always think of this as the cathedral. It seems to have a really high canopy. There's very little undergrowth on the trees even, and there's very little underbrush. It's just wide open, and all of the tree trunks just seem to be like columns holding the ceiling up rather than trees. It's just a very, very different feel for what I'm used to walking around in the woods around here. Normally it looks a lot more like that, and yet this one little area right here is just big and open. It's like walking into a room with vaulted ceilings all of a sudden. So anyway, hope that little bit of camera look did it some justice, because it's really neat being back here. And we are heading over that way once I get back in the water and get out of here. Now, right over here was where that piece of wood was, if I'm not mistaken. And, oh, I was hoping they'd still be here. It's definitely past its prime now, but this whole side of the hill right here, going back into the woods, is covered in honeysuckle. and it smells absolutely amazing back here. So let me see if I can find out where that piece of wood actually is. I'm almost positive it was right here. If not, it was somewhere close, because I came through this area. This is where I actually stopped recording when I thought I had started recording, and so we didn't get any of this on video. So apparently the piece of wood I was looking for is not over here, and it's going to be a little further down the way. So let's keep our eyes open, see if we can't find it. That might be it right over there. Let's go see if that is it. I think that's it right there. Yeah, that's it. So this one's too big to pick up, and it's too fragile. So let's hope if I can kick around here just the right angle, we can get close enough to really see it. So that gives you an idea of what it looks like. This piece back here actually broke off completely. In fact, that's almost good enough in its own right. That would look great in a terrarium or something. So this is the piece I was looking at. How amazing is that? Make sure my kayak doesn't float away. I mean, that is just absolutely fantastic. It's huge. I don't know what I would do with it, but it is fantastic looking. That would be a good piece for out in the garden, maybe. That one's small enough that I could probably bring it home. So, all right. Bumping into something behind us. Probably that. All right. Let's continue on. I actually never even knew this whole cove was back here. I tried fishing it a little while the other day, didn't have any luck, but when I had turned in here, I initially thought that this was the cove where I found that great big piece of woodwork that I have in my New World tank. But it didn't look right. I kept looking around and I kept trying to say this is the right place, but it never was the right place. And eventually I wound up paddling around and I realized there's a couple of little nooks back here that I didn't know were back here. So nothing really exciting to see back here, but there is one tree growing and I really like the way the roots look right on the side. So we need to go around this fallen tree. And come over and have a look at this one. I just love the way those roots just spread out along the shoreline when they've got nowhere else to go. And of course you can see trees like this all over the place out here, but this is just a really good example of it. And I remember seeing it the other day when I was out here fishing. So I thought we could pop over and have a quick look at it. Nothing really to see back there. It's just sort of a little tiny trickle that flows into it. Probably a little more water comes down it when it rains, but under normal circumstances it's not exactly what I'd call a stream flowing in. So let us continue on out and around. Give me a minute to get back out on the main channel out here, and then we'll go around. Well, I say the main channel, we're in the back of that cove, not the main channel at all. That group of land right there is the island in the middle of the cove, and the main channel is way out there. I'm simply referring to getting back out into the main area of the cove from this little sort of cove within the cove. Again, I didn't know there was these little notches taken out back here. Anyway, let me get going around this bend here, and then we will see some more scenic stuff just like that when we get around the corner here. Alright, this is the other little sort of notch that I didn't know existed, and once we came back into here, I again began talking about it as though it was the cove where I found that big piece of wood for my New World tank. And the more I looked around, the more it just didn't seem right. I didn't remember this big tree being out in front of me, and I thought I was losing my mind, but I was not. Once I got out and around the bend, I actually saw where I normally go, and it was not this part at all. So this is all that's back here. I came back here and insisted that this was the spot, and it isn't. So what we need to do is go out and around this way, and then I will show you the cove where I found the wood for my New World tank. So hang on, we'll get around the bend in a minute. I think we're gonna make it through there. Can't say we didn't try. I think I can get under this one. I could probably even snake my way through there. Too late. Alright, now this is the actual cove where I found the woodwork for my New World tank. You can see how the wind pushes everything back into this corner. And there's some bottles and some bobbers and some really big pieces of driftwood. And I have no idea what that red and white target looking thing is over there. But there's more driftwood right here in this little corner than you can shake a stick at. No pun intended. Alright everybody, that's my destination. Now we are going to turn around and start heading on back. So now we've got that island out there in front of us. We've actually came in up there, we went all the way around the whole contours of this whole cove, and now we're back over here. So we've got about a mile out and around up the main channel, back up the cove where the boat launch is, and we'll be done. So I'm probably not going to call this the end of it. We'll get some more video. If you've been with me this long, then you're obviously enjoying this kind of video. So I may as well keep going. I got nothing better to do this afternoon. And it's just so pretty out here. I always enjoy sharing this with anybody that likes watching this kind of video. Let's get up here and see if we can't tuck up under that shoreline a little bit and get underneath of these trees. Although as steep as the angle of the sun is, I'm not even really going to get into the shade even if I get up under here. And no, I definitely am not going to be able to stay under here. Alright. Alright, it's decision time. I can either go straight across the main channel and get to that shoreline and start snaking my way up the shoreline, or I can go over to this shoreline, stay on it, and then eventually cut across the channel when I get further up, or I can simply paddle straight across the channel just to get to the other side. So I don't know what I'm going to do just yet. But the first thing I'm going to do is take a break, have a drink of coffee, and then we'll see where we end up from there. So sit tight, I'll see you somewhere up around the bend. Can you see how that rock is sticking out from the roots? Alright everybody, we have come all the way back. We are actually making our way right up the cove here towards the boat launch. I sort of came back the way we came the other day, so I didn't really feel like there was anything worth adding to the video that we didn't just see the other day already. I also kind of came straight up the channel through the middle with the sun pretty much just like that the whole entire way, which would not have made for a very scenic video. Though I got to admit, for a brief moment or two, it is pretty seeing the sun across the water like that. 20 minutes of it in your eyes is a different story. But here we are back at the beginning of the video, so I'm going to leave you here. I only have to go right up there about another 400 or 500 yards and I'll be at the boat launch, so I'm going to say goodbye right here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I will see you real soon in the next one. Thanks again.